I would like to welcome you to WHU Inside Business, and we are here today with Ferry Heilemann, who is the CEO of FreightHub. Ferry, thanks very much for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
Ferry, can you give us some insights about how does your business model differ from the standard freight forwarder ones?
So we're basically a normal freight forwarding company. We're moving boxes from A to B, and in those terms we're very similar. Also our business model in terms how we earn money is very similar. We take a cost plus, or we do a cost plus pricing. The big difference is that we are approaching freight forwarding from a completely digital perspective. So that means we are doing the customer acquisition in a digital way. We build a data warehouse with more than 5 million price points that allows us to create real-time quotes for our customers on an online platform, which can be booked right away within a couple of minutes. And this is unseen so far in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think is it that no one else has adopted such digital technologies?
Well, there are several freight forwarders that are also trying to build digital platforms, and some big players also do have a digital platform, but in reality they're not really being used. Why is that? Because those big incumbent players have many hundreds of people that are doing sales, and many people that are writing quotes every day in a manual way. And our platform basically solves all these problems and does it in an automatic way, and that would of course create some free space or set some jobs free, and that's not in interest of the people that are working there. And also some of the customers are used to just calling their guy saying, hey, it's again 4 boxes from Shanghai to Hamburg, can you do it? So, and of course this is even faster than typing it into a platform, but it's manual effort. And apart from that, the ability to do this model in a digital way only exists since maybe 10-15 years, but these companies are 100 years old. So they are used to doing this business in a different way, and it's of course difficult to move it to the next level. We're starting from scratch. We have a digital background, and therefore it's way easier for us to build a platform from the beginning on with tech first and with a digital way of doing things.
Okay, you mentioned the large data warehouse that you operate. To what extent can you leverage this data to optimize logistics, to optimize freight forwarding?
Right now we're not doing that. We're not optimizing. We're not being consultants or anything like that. We're just using this to give our customers the opportunity to see real-time quotes. And not just one quote, but when a customer puts in Hong Kong to Torstraße 1 in Berlin, which is close to our office address, he gets basically 100 to 150 different quotes with expected time of departure, the cost. He can choose what kind of haulage he wants to use in Europe. And accordingly the price changes. He can choose the perfect offer for himself. He can decide if he's willing to have the box 7 days later and save $300, or if it's urgent, he needs the box as soon as possible, and then it's maybe a little bit more expensive. He can choose that in real time and book it with us.
Okay. Now, all the information that you provide, that is like in the passenger transportation has been around for quite a while. For freight, it seems to be still relatively new. What are some of the reasons why this is the case?
Well, the freight forwarding market in general is relatively intransparent, I would say. And most of the players also have an interest to keep this market intransparent, because that's the only way how they can earn money. Why? Bringing a container from A to B is a completely commoditized business, and people are only looking at the ocean freight rate. The funny thing is that the ocean freight rate is just 1 out of 10 or 15 line items, and the carriers or also other freight forwarders are just hiding their margin in other items then. And in the end, the overall price is still 2,500, even though the ocean freight is maybe just 1,500. Yeah? And so this intransparency, or it's a mixture. The customers are looking at the ocean freight. The service providers are giving a good ocean freight, but still need to earn some money, so they do it through the back door. And so basically both parties are involved. We are creating transparency now in terms of that the customer knows exactly what his shipment will cost at the end. And that's something that our customers really appreciate, and that's also something that I think everyone will over time appreciate.
Right. How do some of the players react, some of those players that rely on intransparency of the market, and now there's someone new coming in trying to break this up and create transparency?
The reactions are mixed. We are working with several partners, and we're approaching a lot of people that are basically moving the box from A to B. We are completely asset-free, of course, as most forwarders are. But reactions are mixed. Of course, some are afraid. Others know that digitization is unstoppable and rather, are friendly and want to work with us together so that we can create something new and better together for the future customer.
Okay, and how easy do you think it is for the incumbents, for the kind of older companies to work together with those younger companies, the startups? Is there some hurdles to overcome, or is that a rather natural type of collaboration that evolves there?
Well, of course, it's not that easy. Yeah, I'm the CEO of the company. I'm 30 years old. And I would probably say that I think very differently than many other managers at bigger corporations. It took them 30 years to get to their position, right? I founded this company myself with 3 co-founders a year ago, and whoop, suddenly we're there, yeah? So of course the culture is very different, which is completely normal, yeah? But we have relatively good contacts into the shipping industry and to many carriers and also other freight forwarders and so on. And yeah, we're trying to basically to get this done together, and we need each other, right? Because without the trucking company, we can't bring the box to the final destination. Yeah. But they also know, okay, if I automate the way I communicate with a freight forwarder who's giving me the box, yeah, the container, it's good because I am then more competitive compared to other truck companies. I can automate my own business, digitize my business, and it's good for me too. Yeah. So there are several or many of the players in the market understand that and embrace this change, and then they are totally open to learn something in terms of digitization from us, right? We can't teach them anything in terms of logistics. That's where they are the experts, but we are the experts for digitization.
Okay. It seems as though in the B2B market, a key point is also trust. Now, how do you instill trust in your customers if your company is only 1 year old, versus there might be others that are 100 years old and reliable partners? How do you deal with that issue?
Well, for me, it's not a real big issue. I mean, we started with 0 customers, and then there are some courageous customers that say, yeah, I'll just try it, right? And they know something might go wrong, but we give every day our very best in order to make everything happen, yeah? And to be reliable, even though it's not always easy, because we are, again, dependent on several other players in order to get the job done. But one additional differentiator is, I guess, that we are a startup. Startup means a lot of commitment, usually young people, and of course, we are working every day. We're working 7 days a week. Customers can always reach us. And just one example, we even quoted or made an air freight quote, which we were not able to do that automatically. We did it manually, or we had to do that manually. And one of our employees did that on Saturday, December 31st at 1 p.m. Yeah? And there's no other freight forwarder in the world where you can get a quote Saturday, New Year's Day. Yeah? So that makes a difference, that because our people are willing to go the extra mile for the customer, and therefore our service is perceived as excellent.
Right. Interesting. Now, you show significant growth in your business. Do you foresee moving into other areas along the supply chain, aside from freight forwarding?
The freight forwarding market is huge. And right now there's no need for us to do warehousing or any other kinds of business models or pursue any other kind of business. So we will stick to freight forwarding. We are, of course, later on open to work with other players that might deliver or do these services as an add-on for our customers, but we won't do that ourselves. That's too much. We have to focus. We have, unfortunately, very limited resources.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, where do you see the future of logistics? Is it going to be predominantly IT plus a little bit of logistics and business know-how, or is it more a balance between those who have the business and logistics know-how and some folks who come from the IT and digitalization corner? What's your impression there?
Well, I mean, logistics has been very offline, which is natural because it is moving cargo from A to B, yeah, or maybe not always cargo, maybe also just a package or whatever it is, but it's a very hands-on job. Someone needs to do that, yeah. So it's never possible to completely digitize that, or maybe way, way, way later. Yeah, I mean, Amazon is trying that with the last mile packages, drones, and so on. But in general, I'm totally convinced that there will always be quite a lot of people involved, and there will always be, you know, the guys who own the assets, and they have to do the job in the end. But technology will certainly improve utilization, improve efficiency, and just cut out a lot of waste and a lot of, you know, lost time and a lot of lost money. Therefore, that's what the technology is going to do from my perspective today.
Okay. What type of employees are you looking for as you acquire new employees to your company?
So we have basically three major departments within FreightHub. One, and a very important one, is our tech department, so software development. That's approximately 1/3 of our company. Every third employee is a software developer. So that's very important, and that's also why we're located in Berlin, because the digital natives are living in Berlin, and not in any other city in Germany at least. The second department, which is important for us, is also sales. We're doing it in an automated way, but we still have to talk to people, yeah, on the phone at least, not in person maybe, but on the phone. And there we're having a relatively young team, but partially with a background from other forwarders that have been doing sales there. Yeah? And the third department is actually the operations department, and those are the guys that are actually handling the communication with the other service providers, you know, with a supplier, with a carrier, with a post run, with the customs, and so on. And that's the part of the business where we're actually looking for Speditionskaufleute. Okay. Yeah, so people that did study logistics in the original way. And that's also why we're opening up an office in Hamburg right now, because we found out it's way easier to find these guys in Hamburg, and those are difficult to find in Berlin.
Right. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks to you too.